All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It was unanimous. Now we have the approval of the February 12th, 2026 meeting. If you all don't see any corrections or updates that need to be had, we will take a motion to approve the minutes. Right, y'all done? Are y'all still reviewing? Yes, can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Okay, Ms. Carter, there's a second.
Second.
Okay. Mr. King, any question? All in favor?
Aye.
Right, so now we're at the board appointments and elections. So I am happy to say this evening that our Honorable Mayor Ellison has selected Mr. Avery Wilson to preside as the chair. So I want to say congratulations to Mr. Wilson.
Thank you. All right.
I'm going to turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate the mayor. Mayor, I want to thank you for this selection. I want to thank everyone for all of you for the confidence of the mayor to do this job. I'm not going to change anything. I'm still going to be as passionate as I've been. I want everyone to know that I'm going to expect everyone not to change, to continue to be who you are, to continue to be as passionate as you've been, and let's continue to work as hard as we've been working to do what we're doing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's continue. Let's our next order of business is gonna be
Number
it's financial update.
we have to do.
Number 3.
Vice Chair.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We're gonna elect the vice chair.
Can I say something? I started attending URA meetings in 2014, and I watched how things were run back then. We didn't even have minutes or financial statements. And after Ms. James came on board here and she's run the show, which I've been very impressed with what she's been doing. And I also would like to have some continuity so that when I continue to tear down stuff without having some plans so things can go in there. So I move that Kimberly James be our vice chair.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, all right. I'm sure we'll take that into consideration. I know that we all serve at the chance of the mayor, correct?
Not for your vice chair.
Not vice chair. All right. All right. I take that into consideration. Does anybody else have I also want Ms. James to be the vice chair.
Oh, thank you.
Does anybody else have a vote of confidence, Ms. James? Anybody else motion for Ms. James to be vice chair?
I moved.
I guess I'll motion. Who else gonna be?
So hold us on this.
Okay.
So at this point, since it seems like there's kind of consensus for
There's consensus for Ms. James to be vice chair.
need a motion on the table to appoint Ms. James as vice chair.
The motion is on the table for Ms. James to be vice chair. So move.
Yeah, so we need a second.
A second.
Second. Who's gonna be?
It's unanimous.
Okay, so you say so moved.
So move. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So it's unanimous. Ms. James is the vice chair. I'm sorry.
I'm not getting teary-eyed. My eyes are burning.
Oh, come
It's
on.
okay. You did a good job. You did a good job.
Okay.
Keeping you close.
Yes.
Yeah, this is, I'm getting used to this, but this is what it's gonna be. I'm sorry. Our next order of business is financial update. Right. Yes.
Or if in your packet is the summary page of the finance report. Mr. Ball coming around with the full packet. And again, as a reminder, the full packet does not leave the table. Mr. Williams, when you're ready.
Okay. Good evening, committee.
Good evening.
All right. With the packet that's just been passed out to you, I always start with the first page, the cover sheet. Cover sheet gives you a synopsis of the operating cash, operating revenue, and operating expense. With the operating cash, you have three bank accounts totaling of $7,308,843. You have this particular month, which we are focusing on the month of February 2026. You have deposits of 14,210. You have withdrawals and debits of 1,103,367. Ending balance of 6,219,686. That's your operating cash. Operating revenue, that you had budgeted 8,690,500. Year-to-date actuals came in at 3,339,279. Your budget balance is 5,351,224. Operating expense, you have a budget of $8,229,050. Year-to-date actuals was 1,203,416. You do have an encumbrance of 2,771,703. Most of that is due to the Grapevine construction infrastructure that you are that's in the midst of being built now, or renovated. Your budget balance is 4,253,931. Any questions from the cover sheet?
Yeah, I have a question.
All right.
So, okay, so I noticed that there's a check to somebody named Tammy, and it looks like it's reversed. So this was somebody else trying to get into our account.
Moving to the bank statement. Yes, that particular check, which we have all of the securities that's on the account, they picked that up and it automatically reversed it. And that's talking with Truist just to refresh on how we do things. That is the procedure. So anything come in that looks fraudulent, that's not part of what our standard check or the checking account is, they will turn it down and do a debit reverse.
Is your person shown on the?
It is at the bottom. If you look at page 2 on the statement.
Now that 150,000,
That is money that was transferred over to the Bank of America account that you have for TI assets.
Right, that's the general operation.
Right.
For the market for you.
Exactly.
Okay,
So that's money that's in there for you to kind of start up money.
Do you have an account yet for Bank of America? Do we have those statements?
Not yet, because we are working with, the deputy finance director is working with, them to establish that, it's the,
Is that account gonna be on Bank of America?
it's gonna be on Bank of America. We'll start getting those, but as of now, we're not getting them because they're still trying to put together the, what is that?
It's their,
The module,
their vendor pay app.
yeah,
That they use internally to pay all of their, bills through.
yeah.
So there's been a little hiccup in the connecting the Bank of America account
Exactly.
to the app that they use. But I do believe that we have, I think,
We've already, I think we saw it. We just, but the bank statements are not ready to be published yet.
Can you can you mark that for when it does come on statement next month? Can you do it? Can you mark that to make sure that it's, I guess, just marked, and when it does show up, that we know that
You'll get the statement. I'll bring the statement, just like I'm doing here with Truist. I'm gonna bring the Bank of America statements too, so you'll be able to see that also.
Thank you.
Also in the packet, if you go to page 8, this particular report is from our encode system. This is the this tells you what ACH has gone through and on the account for February. We're going ahead too. You can see the vendor names that the ACH electronic funds went to.
Remind us again.
Gallagher Bassett.
Gallagher is the insurance. They also the insurance for the state of Harrisburg also. Page 9. This is another report from my ERP system, Encode. This is this gives you a payment report for the month of February, which includes the electronic funds as well as all the checks that went through.
Can you shine light on this voided Georgia Power?
Which one? The one that's voided?
Can you let us know what that is?
Yeah. It didn't go through at all. So this was the payment was started, but it got voided. So it never went out.
Oh,
But it showed up for the month of February.
but
No, it wasn't a true payment. This is a payment that got voided out in our system. This is not the bank.
Oh.
This is our ERP system that just showed up but it was voided out in the system. No. The other two Georgia Power checks, they went through in February, but you will see them on the bank statement in March, as well as the Falcon Design Consultant check. It was put in February here in our system, but you'll see it actually hit the bank in March.
You have another question. Right view. It seems like I don't know if we're behind paying them.
No, we're on track with them.
So why?
What happened last month was the same thing you just saw with that check for $3,200. It showed up. It tried to go through that one there. it tried to go through, you remember the bank account that was closed? It tried to go through on that one,
Right.
but that bank has been closed. So what has happened, because it's still up under our name, it tried to go through that, but it couldn't. So that's why it got reversed. So what we did was go back and reissue both of those checks, what you see here, from the correct bank account. And that's why now they're going through. So we're up to date with Brightview.
So these two checks are
A replacement of last. Yes. On page 12 and page 13, these are the other bank statements from Truist that rounds out the operating cash. Really no activity going on with them, to just the interest being redeposited. Page 14, this is a statement for and page 15, statements for your Georgia Fund 1 account. The first one, you have a balance of beginning balance of $30,729,328. Earnings reinvested, you have $88,611. New balance is $30,817,939. You have and then on the next one, you have beginning balance of $17,951,078. Earnings $51,764. And then you have a new balance of $18,002,842. The significance from last month to this month is your it's the interest that's being put back in it. Last month it was about 3.71. It's gone up for the month of February. It's 3.75. So that's pretty good. That tells you Georgia Fund 1 it's moving right on back up. Starting on page 16 is report from our encode system, and then this just gives you a detail, the back end of the operating expense as well as operating revenue. And that rounds out the financial report for the month of February.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
yeah.
All right, not on the agenda. I'm so sorry. So we do have, as I shared with you in our last meeting, and we're going to pull up a quick presentation for you. So the URA board has iPads. So our two new board members, Mr. King and Ms. Sutton, you will be getting new iPads. They have been ordered. They should be here definitely in time for what month is this? March. Definitely in time for your April meeting. We do have Forest Park email addresses for you as well. And we will get login details for you for that as well. I do know there's been some issue with some of you, not Ms. Carter, but some of you in accessing and using your iPad as well as your email address. We're going to work with you on that. But one of the things that we have talked about in our office is we produce an egregious amount of paper and documents and getting ready for our board meetings, and to streamline the process, how we can do a better job of data sharing. And so one of the things that our IT department has worked with us on over the past couple of weeks is really coming up with a process to do a better job of sharing all of our information with you electronically. And I'm going to turn it over to Chip because he's going to do a far better job of explaining this process to you. I promise we're going to hold your hands through this. We understand it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but I promise this is going to be a much easier process. However, I still like paper. We still will have paper table copies, at least 2 copies for the table for those of you that still need to pick it up and feel it in your hands. But we're going to lean more into doing a paper or an electronic version of sharing our data. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Chip, who's going to explain this process to you.
All right, how you doing, everyone?
Good.
As she said, I'm Chip. I'm the IT innovation technology engineer for the IT department. So I'm going to walk you through just being added to our SharePoint and showing you how the documents will be sent to you and how you can access them while you're away and during the meetings. Okay, so as you guys were going, I shared everyone the folder that will contain all of the documents. So if you could open up your emails and
Those of you who don't have iPads, we'll send this out
Yeah.
and we'll do a couple coaches like Rochelle said, to hold your hand through it. Don't feel tense if you can't.
And
Yep.
for each meeting, we will send you the step-by-step instructions of it with the link of exactly how to get to this point as well. Go ahead, Chip.
okay. So in your emails, at the top of your emails, you'll see this shared email that's basically saying you now have access to the documents folder. If you go to the open button, that will open up the folder with the documents. I'm just trying to give everybody a chance to get. Okay, so after you click open, it will bring you to the live meeting documents folder, and you will see all the documents listed. Or you can go to the next one.
Email address.
I was asking you to sign in.
It's asking us to sign in.
So yeah, so you might be prompted to sign in before, but once you sign in one time, you should stay in.
And for all of you, will be signing in with your Forest Park email address. And for our newbies, we got you. We got you.
Okay. So okay, you can go back to the other one, the previous one. So once you're inside the folder, you can click on the document to access it, to open it. So all the files will be added prior to the meetings. So you will have a little opportunity to view them before you come in. And there is a 7-day retention period on all the documents. So they will, from the moment you get a notification saying that the documents are in the folder, they'll only be available 7 days from there, and then they will be deleted.
I say one other thing too. So we've kind of playing with this as well. So basically what we're looking to do is that it will not be the full finance package. We will still hand walk this into you for each meeting, but it will be the entire full packet in one PDF document. Because as we kind of started playing with this, we realized that, you know, these are like literally 15 different documents that have been PDF'd into one thing. And as we started, we're like, oh wait, that creates 15 different documents. So we're like, oh no, that doesn't work. So what we will do is we will take and compile all of the documentation that we need to present, PDF it into one document and drop one thing. So you will literally have a flip book of everything in one document. And so as we are building our packet, we generally start building out your agenda packet pretty much tomorrow is when we start building the packet for them for the next meeting. But it is our goal to at least 2 to 3 days prior to the meeting. I think we said 3 days prior to the meeting is when we have all of this done available to you. So you have a full opportunity to do a full pre-read prior to coming into the meeting.
And the agenda packet and stuff will still be emailed to you?
Correct.
So
We'll
this
still email it
is
to you.
another way.
Mhm.
Oh, any question?
That's your password.
Yeah. Oh.
We got you.
Mhm.
We OneDrive for this?
So this is SharePoint.
Oh, SharePoint, okay.
It's very similar, but
When I open it, just went to OneDrive, I don't know.
oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah.
If you,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And, is it why it's only gonna be there 7 days?
We talked about this, we're not tied to 7 days. We can most definitely extend the period to 10 days, 14 days. We do want to have a auto delete period, just from a security standpoint, but we most definitely want to hear your feedback for how long of a period, but we're open to extending that longer.
But you'll still have the agenda documents in your email.
Yeah, because we'll still email you this packet as well.
So these documents are the same as what's in the agenda?
Correct, except you won't, at the meeting, you won't have a paper to look at, you'll have to use your iPad. Like how y'all do at council.
Yeah, exactly. Does that help a little bit?
Yeah, but I think I might need a little longer.
Got you. I got you.
Might take me a week or two.
That's okay.
oh yeah, no worries.
We got you.
About this.
We're gonna work through this. Yeah, trust me. My staff yells at me and my piles of paper that I walk around with, but I'm getting there.
All right, we can go to the next slide. As I mentioned, when the documents are added to the folder, everyone will receive a notification for each and every file that's added, and it will reflect this. It'll have the name of the folder, it'll have the name of the file, and it will give you a link to go directly to the file. All right, let's see next. Okay, so we have a couple of don'ts when it comes to these virtual documents. We don't want anyone sharing, any of the members sharing it with members outside of your board. Don't download or upload any documents to or from the share folder. Do not ignore a file being listed as read only, because it's read only for a reason, not to be manipulated. Or taking pictures or photos or duplicating any images of the documents. And that is it. If anyone has any questions.
So on the application, it's going to have an option for uploading and downloading.
Yeah, it's not going to be there. Yeah.
Accident.
Yeah. If
we do trust.
We say already know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great. No, just a SharePoint, it'll just have a link.
But again, you'll be able to retrieve the agenda and documents from your email.
Correct.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So prior to that, so did we download and print?
You mean like currently what we do now? Yeah, so we make the agenda, print everything.
Print everything.
Yes.
And I print everything. So, I just want.
She's like, you got to have the paper.
Paper.
No,
Yeah.
well, I print at home, my paper, my ink. So I just, cause I need to. You need to smell it.
You need-
I need that.
You can still have your copy.
You can still have your copy. Okay.
But I had to download it to get the copy.
It's in your, remember that it's still gonna be in your email.
So I did it and download it, then print. Okay, so I can
You
just,
still do that from your email.
okay,
Yes.
thank you.
And we're trying to eliminate the egregious.
Yes.
But I'm not gonna stop you from You do you. Okay.
And any other questions? Okay, all right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Like I said, as I promised, we're gonna hand walk with each other together. We're gonna get through this.
Next, there's gonna be in our own, it's gonna be project update for the gun range relocation.
Yep. So very quickly, so as you will remember at last month's meeting, the gun range reorientation out at Gillum. And this is all part of Project Splash, where now the digital realty that is coming into our community, hence the reorientation of the gun range. Billy Freeman with Technique Concrete Construction volunteered and donated the pouring of the concrete pad that was needed to complete part of what needed to happen with the relocation or the reorientation of the gun range. That pouring is done. We are waiting on action. Is it Action Target? Action Target to finish their piece. I did have a conversation with Alton Matthews, who is the Public Works Director, this morning. Our Public Works team has completed everything that they need to do with the reorientation of the gun range. Action Target should be on site later. Well, it won't be this week, next week, some point, to finish out their closeout. And hopefully we should be putting a period at the end of the reorientation of the gun range. So hopefully by our April meeting, we can be completely done with the gun range reorientation.
Just so everyone knows, the reorientation she's speaking of is the direction in which
Correct.
the people are able to shoot in was an issue when they were talking about redoing the gun range. Well, I know you got it right here, but
yes. So if you were looking at, if this was the gun range this way, and you're shooting this way, where the road that is being constructed was coming this way. Now, granted, there is a ginormous berm there. However, probably not a good idea to be shooting that way. So shoot it even with the big dirt berm there. So the gun range flipped this way. So that flip has happened. The road construction is moving along appropriately. So yes. So hopefully, like I said, by April, I'm hoping we can be completely closed out with the gun range reorientation.
Next update project is a digital.
Yep. So continuing on with all things at Gillum right now. So digital realty, the blasting is complete. Precision completed the blasting end of February. As a reminder to people, the site where the blasting happened, and I hate that I don't have the pictures to show you, but I will get them. Falcon has some amazing photos just to orient you as to how large the rocks were. They were ginormous rocks. And so from the size of the rock, and so if you look at, if this is the tire, you know, say this is the tire and this is the size of the person next to the tire, just understanding the scale of the excavation equipment that had to be brought in to blast the rock. But the blasting is finally complete. We are so thankful that it is finally done. And construction continues to move forward. But understanding that the true construction has not happened, this site represents what was formerly known as the Northwest landfill. And by landfill, it was not raw sewage and stuff like that. This was a medical landfill. And by medical, I mean not biohazardous waste. It was vials, and literally I have walked it. Actually in these shoes, and there are gauze and mesh sleeves and stuff and so the site has been cleaned. There's been a tremendous amount of dirt that has been brought in. Rock has been broken up, and then now the grading and leveling of the site is commencing as planned. And as a reminder, this build is a full 3-year build. So it'll be a full 3 years before we actually see the completion of this project and doors open. We being the Downtown Development Authority has been approached and has been working with the Digital Realty team since October, I believe, of last year on a couple of things. They have approached the DDA for a tax abatement. The DDA has not made a decision yet on a tax abatement. They have also approached the county. The county has not given an answer on the tax abatement yet. They have also tried to approach the school district on a tax abatement, but I don't believe that they have had that meeting as of yet. I do not believe that the DDA will make a decision probably in the next month or so on whether or not they're going to move forward with a tax abatement because they're waiting to hear from the county. However, we are moving forward from the DDA in negotiating a community benefits agreement. And so have taken, a lot of back and forth on a very detailed and robust community benefits agreement of things that they are willing to provide to our community. So as we continue to negotiate and finalize that, as we get closer with that, of course, we will make certain that we keep all parties informed about what those benefits are, and as we finalize that.
Okay, our next old business update is going to be quick. 33 Forest Parkway.
Oh, skip one. Let me go back. Yep. So the park at Fort Gillum.
Fort Gillum.
Yep. Okay. So in your packet, there's a big old memo. I have become very famous for my memos. So we will be going and presenting to Mayor and Council in April just to provide a deep dive update about the park at Fort Gillum. But I provided this as a draft version for you and really just to orient you and provide. I'm not going to read through it because it's long, but I do encourage you to read it, particularly our new members of the board, just to give you a little bit of context and history about how we came to acquire what was formerly known as Weary Housing, now known as the Park at Fort Gillum. The short story is that in May of 2006, as was required by the base realignment and closure, we inherited and part of the closure and the sale of Gillum came with it the park at Fort Gillum. At the time, the park at Fort Gillum was managed by a property management firm, which was actually, oddly enough, called the Park at Fort Gillum LLC. It was Phil and Paul Keenan. They were actually brothers. They had a 25-year ground lease. In that time, their ownership, they were not owners of the property as of 2006. The URA became owners as we became owners of Gillum, also became owners of the park at Fort Gillum. However, because of the 25-year ground lease, the property owners at that time operated in a manner that portrayed themselves or operated in the way that led people to believe that they were the owners. It was somewhat of a difficult relationship. We're not very easy to deal with in getting information about properties and condition, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So long story short, ground lease ended in October 28th, 2025. As you know, we hired TI Asset Management as the new property management team, signed a contract in October. They assumed operations in November. Since that time, have been laser focused on stabilization of the property. You do have sent a link to you because it's 600 pages long, and I'm sure Ms. Carter printed the whole thing out, but a full property assessment report that is detailed everything with the property. The most critical and pressing thing that we walked into was the sewage issue. The lift station at the park at Fort Gillem has not worked properly in over 20 years. Unfortunately, it was a known issue. Unfortunately, it was not really known to us until we walked into it. It had been a series, and you can read through the full details, but it was a series of patch jobs and temporary fixes throughout the years that never addressed the issue. So when we went through a full discovery and assessment in December, the long and short have fully fixed the lift station. Also at that time discovered there was a relay switch issue. The flanges were broken. The main sewer line was clogged, which was truly the source of most of the issue because it also sits in a valley. And so it has to lift up, and it can't lift up if the sewer line is also clogged. So the long and short is that all of that has now been fixed. It was not a pleasant experience to go through for the residents that live there, but worked through, and we are very thankful for the URA for their leadership and for the expediency of the approval of the funds to get it done and get it done as quickly as we were able to do. So unfortunately, there was some conversations in a public space that made it seem as if the URA was not taking care of the issue or that the issue was still ongoing. I'm here to say, publicly that that is not the case. These issues that were discussed in public meeting were issues that happened a month and a half ago. So we have been out on site multiple times. I have talked more about lift stations and sewage and poop and all kinds of stuff that I'm a mom that I ever wanted to talk about. But I'm confident in telling you that the issue has been remediated and fixed. There are also new clean outs have been placed all throughout the property, et cetera, et cetera. But now in your last month's meeting, you approved up to $700,000 to deal with other emergency critical repairs. And so to give you some context of what has happened, there is also a spreadsheet in there. In short order, the property management team has, as of last week, did unit by unit inspections and has a full inspection report of each unit. They also have, in order of priority, are working through microbial growth remediation, roofing issues, trip hazard repairs, unit turns for down units, and the unit turns for down units address the empty vacant units. There are a number of vacant units on the property, and there is a plan in place to fully renovate and rehab the vacant units to be able to bring those back online so that they can be rentable. To be able to increase revenue. And then asphalt, if any of you have been out there, I think Ms. James and I went out there one day last week and we hit a crater that we literally went about 4 feet. We went airborne and then we went 4 feet in the ground. So the asphalt is a major issue. And then the other issue that we just discussed earlier this week is there are a number of abandoned cars. And this is not recent. There are abandoned cars that have been abandoned for years on the property. And so the property management team has developed a plan. They have made, what's the word I'm looking for? Thank you. Notices of all of the abandoned cars. They have 14 days to cure the issue, and then they will be cited and the cars will be removed. In addition to that, in working with our code compliance department, so at the same time, code compliance went out as part of their ongoing apartment complex sweep. It's late. Sweep. Went out and did a sweep of the park at Fort Gillem. And they also have come back and did unit by unit inspections. So fortunately, we have those as well. We appreciate them doing that because it also allows us another layer of looking at the unit by unit inspections that our property management team has done, as well as the property conditions report that the environmental team performed for us, and being able to look at all three of them to make sure that nothing has been missed. We did have I had a meeting yesterday with Deputy Chief Smith and kind of talked through the process and making certain that there's better coordination with code compliance under the police department and our office through the URA. We had a meeting this morning with Supervisor Scott with code compliance, Major Jones, and Captain Whitehead, who shore up the code compliance department. But I'm happy to say that we are all now on the same page and working very much the same way. So I'm very excited, kind of taking a very comprehensive approach to how we address and remediate the issues. So that is where we are. And I do believe you do have in your, there's a spreadsheet, and I apologize, it's tiny because it was long and I was trying to get it all on one page. But at least that shows you I would say this is phase 2. Phase 1 was really all of the lift station sewer issues. Phase 2 is kind of where we are right now with the microbial mediation and the asphalt and trip hazards, et cetera, et cetera. Any questions? I know that was a lot. Yes, sir.
Generally, is our happy campers?
Yeah, I mean, I will say that we did have conversations with they have a resident advisory committee. We have had conversations with the chair and the vice chair. Yes, the chair and the vice chair generally appreciate the level of transparency. The property management team has done a really good job of communicating with the residents. And so we have asked them that every time that they send communication to the residents about anything, that they copy us. And so I get those communications. Ms. James gets those communications. We will make certain now that the chair Avery gets those communications as well. So I think that we've done a really good job of keeping the residents engaged. Of course, initially as the transition happened, there was a lot of confusion of, who are you and what are y'all doing? But those have tapped down tremendously. There are, of course, still some people that are, unsure of what we're doing and the expediency in which we're doing it. But I think as we just continue to explain, as I've laid out for you, here is the master plan, here's what we're doing, here's how long each phase of this is going to take, and the resources that, the vendors, and how long it's going to take them to work through that. I think, just transparency and communication.
I was real pleased with the website information about the blasting.
Good.
To the folks who were upset. Have we thought about having a Holland Park or a Gillum block or a place for information for them?
I think that actually might be a great idea. Thank you. We had, when we engaged with Partnership for Southern Equity, we did a series of town meetings and engagements. We have talked about, how to do potentially another town hall or community engagement type of an event. I think that having a standard dedicated place on our website is not necessarily a bad idea. Thank you for that.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so one of the things that we had mentioned was the need to remediate the and things of that nature. And so I appreciate the road repair and all that stuff too. I definitely want to make sure, because it looks like this is only like $100,000.
Yeah. Well, the first
$7,000.
Yeah, well, the first thing is the microbial growth remediation. That's your mold remediation. That's the thing that they're working through right now. And they actually started on the 9th.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, that's step 1 in this process.
And I think too, Ms. Carter was mentioning at the last meeting to me that we at the board probably need to, at some point, Ms. Avery, go into executive session, do a deep dive as to how we move forward and what we're going to do.
We're going to do that at your retreat.
The last session. This what came out of last session, this right?
Yes. So at the retreat.
I agree.
I went out to, Fort Gillum, Park Fort Gillum, I think the day after you and Ms. James went out. And I met with a couple of, two or three residents over there. Of course, Miss Thomas, that was so vocal. I went to her first. And I walked with her. She got her walker around that place for a long time. One thing, it had been sunny all week, so anything that was there was all dried up. So I did get some compliments about TI, not from her, but from another resident. They were very pleased with that the representatives when they first came out there, they knocked on every door and talked, greeted themselves and told them who they were. And they also said that they were very responsive in their, when they have a trouble call, respond within 4 hours, if not the same day. I don't know what kind of trouble calls they were doing, but that was a pretty quick response. They continue that, they'll be real happy. But I think they're happy to see all the movement that's going on. They know it's not going to happen in a day. Rome wasn't built. But you've got some very good. I think TI was a good choice.
Okay. That's all for that one. We'll move on to the grapevine.
All right, well, I'm gonna tee this up and then I'm gonna be quiet.
Forest Parkway.
So the grapevine, 833 Forest Parkway, we officially kicked off the project on last Friday. Thank you for those of you that were able to be there for our kickoff or our groundbreaking celebration. Construction is moving, or the interior demolition construction is moving along swimmingly. But I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Clay, who is serving as the project manager on this project. I'll give you an update.
Good evening, everyone. So, as Director Dennis stated, I am very appreciative for everyone who attended the groundbreaking. Ms. James, I know it was so exciting. You have to keep crying. But I'm very appreciative that everyone attended, and we're excited about the progress that we're making in terms of the Main Street District. So I won't kind of belabor the point, but there are some critical things that came out of our OAC meeting, which is the owner, architect, and contractor meetings that we have every 2 weeks. And I kind of wanted to bring that before the board. So some of the tasks that were completed under pay app number 2, which is how the technique is paid. There were some interior finishing done on the interior walls. As Director Dennis said, a lot of the demolition is done. So now they're at the point of putting things back. So the interior walls have been done. New sewer pipes have been laid, as well as main water lines have been laid underground and above. The HVAC, some of that work is starting to get done. And there has been some additional equipment that was ordered. It was already under, so there aren't any change orders, but some of the equipment for the HVAC has been installed. And that was 2 of the main things that were done on this last pay app. We're putting the things back that have been removed from the internal demolition and also starting the HVAC. And that's where the construction team realized there were some deficiencies in the planning of how the plans were submitted compared to the actual weight of the units themselves. But I'll get into that. So some of the things that were talked about was one of the questions that our team has asked, and we've talked about in executive session. Does the URA want to release an RFP for tenants and the management team? Because there will be some criteria that between the URA and the economic development team that we have to craft. So what are we looking for in tenants in terms of years of experience? Are we looking for certain products, certain type of cuisines? Just want to really have a deep dive conversation about that. And how do we want to push that out? And also about the management team, because although our team is very mighty, running a whole food hall is a bit much for our little team. So does the URA want to do an RFP, or what that criteria would look like for a management team? Are we looking for a certain years of experience? Have they only done commercial or high-end dining? Just kind of crafting that criteria before we put that out to fill the space. And another thing, again, what type of cuisine do we want? We know we have several wings and burgers, but are we want elevated burgers? Do we want vegan? Just kind of thinking about the things that we want to put in there, because as we build it out, certain equipment and things may be needed more on one side compared to when we're doing the build out for the other side or other things. And also, what will be the restaurant or co-working space lease terms? We need to think about lease terms. Are there going to be 60 days? Are there going to be 60 months, depending on how, are there 12 months? And will there be a sliding scale on the rent where it will accumulate based on the time in which they're in the building? And some potential change orders. So in order to keep people at the Grapevine on the weekends, we need more TVs. There are no TVs around the bar. So, right, we want people to watch the game. We want y'all to have brunch. So we definitely want to put more TVs around the bar with the URA's permission. And the front of the building, if you're looking at Grapevine, those windows across the top, those need to be replaced, as well as the frames around them. The welding costs, as I was speaking earlier about the HVAC and the equipment. So the plans that were given and developed by PPI, there is a weight offset from the plans and the actual units themselves. So Technique has had to do some welding to try to retrofit the units up top so that they will stay up, but there'll be a change order coming for those additional welding costs. Landscaping, the URA needs to think about landscaping. What does that look like? Do we want to plant additional trees, or do we just want to kind of upkeep what's already there? And they'll be included into the landscaping contract that the URA already has. And then there also needs to be an alarm system. Do we want to use the company that the city uses, or more of a commercial entity like Loud Security, which does a lot of the restaurants that we go to? And also, last but not least, signage. So there are currently 2 exterior signs for the building, one on the front and one on the side, but we may want to consider having one maybe on top of the hill so people can see it before they get to it, or maybe one at the bottom on the other entrance. So those are kind of some of the things that we want to talk about. They can either be flushed out now, we can talk about them in the retreat.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are kind of the, yeah.
I'm gonna talk about retreat in a second. We have a whole discussion plan for all of this
Yes.
at the retreat.
Yes, and these are just some of the things I wanted to get out in front of you before change orders come, or if you wanted to change anything before we kind of get to that part of it, because it's already come up with the construction team. Are there any questions about the updates or anything with the payables, or how this contract and project is going? Oh,
I'm talking.
I haven't seen the plans.
Okay.
I'm not saying I need to.
Uh-huh.
But I just noticed that all the windows are in the front.
Mhm.
Adding any other windows on the back end of the building?
I mean, there will be a new drive-through window that'll be done for the building, but just the front will be replaced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Any other questions?
I don't
Yes, ma'am.
have a comment. So, with the Grapevine, it being kind of like a hub of bringing people together,
Mhm.
different things.
Yes, ma'am.
The TVs, I don't know, we will probably have to discuss it first.
Mhm.
People to come to entertain themselves,
Mhm.
have spoken word and all that stuff.
Mhm.
TV may be a distraction, that's just my opinion.
True. Yeah, it's for the bar area. It's just for the bar area. Because the TVs are already included in the co-working space, and I believe in the presentation area, that's where they are. But we had a restaurateur come by, and he was like, "Man, I want to sit at the bar and watch TV. I don't have nothing to watch the game." So
The South now, we got football.
yeah, and then with it being, we want people to operate on a Saturday, football season, brunch. There won't be presentations going on a Saturday or a Friday night. So that's just something else to consider.
Well, piggyback on that. So we've been having our phone has been ringing off the hook, which is a good thing. The level of interest of vendors that are interested in, restaurateurs that are interested in coming in, has been nothing short of spectacular. We've been having increasing conversations with just how to structure and manage a food hall, because understanding that this is different than just finding someone to open a restaurant, to occupy a I do, I don't know, super fancy pound cakes, and I'm gonna take that stall right there and do my super fancy pound cakes. It's not exactly what it is. So I've learned a lot more, and I've got a couple of we've got a partnership now with Georgia Tech, and their whole food incubator thing, and kind of been able to provide some guidance around food halls, having conversations with what's the one that's on Memorial?
No.
No, that, yes, that, thank you. With them, as well as, say the name again? Holidome. And then as well as the Colony Square downtown. So looking at kind of how some of these other food halls, so there's some best practices around how we could structure it differently. The long and short of all of this is needing a restaurant management company. But for our retreat, and with the chair's permission, if there are no more questions about the grapevine, I'd love to talk a little bit about our board retreat.
Oh, the logo.
I'm gonna show you that
Oh.
in my update, because I forgot I put it in the slide deck. I'm sorry. So the board retreat, March 27th and one other thing in your packet as well. There is a capability statement about Technique. It shows their capabilities, their core competencies, and all of their major projects. There was, so you have that as well for your further understanding. Your board retreat is coming up. We have settled on the Evergreen. More details about that will be coming out. We're finalizing the contract right now. We are also working through the agenda. Right now, the working draft of the agenda that we have will be a Friday. We'll start Friday afternoon, midday. So kind of a lunchtime start on Friday till probably about 4 or 5 o'clock. We will break as a group and do a dinner as a group. We've got a couple of options. We'll poll you as to where we're going to go for dinner. We're going to leave the compound and go on a little field trip and have dinner together. And then we will have a full work day on Saturday. Don't worry, we're going to feed you. We'll give you breakfast and lunch and snacks. And then Saturday dinner will be on you. However, you have a couple of different options. You can stay and have dinner at the hotel, or you can leave the property and have dinner off site. But Saturday evening is on you, as an opportunity for you as a board to kind of chill and moose on and engage without staff telling you what to do. But the board, you elected to all stay an additional night. So you will be staying on Saturday evening. Staff will not be staying Saturday night with you, but we will work out the final details. And like I said, I think we're pretty close to having the contract finalized. We are working to get an outside facilitator, Catherine Lakowski, who is absolutely just fantastic and a dear friend of mine, who facilitated our last retreat, working with her on finalization. We are looking for that Friday session to be more of the administrative stuff. Where we'll go over finance, your bylaws, board terms, some of that foundational type stuff, so we can also pull in staff as needed. And then Saturday, really to be kind of a couple of things: the Grapevine, the park at Fort Gillem, and 330 Forest Parkway. We might not get the 330 Forest Parkway, but it is our intent to spend, at least if we do nothing else, that we spend a significant amount of time talking through the park at Fort Gillem, and then some of the additional things that we need to consider and make decisions on for the Grapevine. And I think that's probably all that your brains are going to be able, at least mine, is going to be able to hold for that day. So some more details about your retreat coming very soon, and it's going to be here before you know it. And then your shirts, I believe we are done.
Yeah, payment
has been processed, so you should have your shirts by the retreat. Hopefully by the retreat. So hopefully we will have them for you at the retreat. If not, you most definitely will have them for your April meeting. Any questions about any of that? And we have no new business tonight because I beat you up last month. So, so I'm gonna give a very quick economic development update. All right. So again, I promise they're coming. I promise. I'm just gonna keep telling you they're coming. They told me the spring banners are done. I'm just waiting. I'm just like, where are my banners? Just where am I know. They're coming. All right, keep going. All right, so Taste of Forest Park. So for the very first time ever, we are doing a Taste of Forest Park. So this will be on Friday, April the 3rd, at the Fountain on Main Street from 5 until 8 p.m. We're doing this in partnership with Food Truck Friday. We're making them move from Bill Lee and come up to the Fountain. But we will have food, music, karaoke. We're going to do a recipe exchange. I like to cook. I'm a really good cook. So bring your A game and your good recipes. But we will have a variety of food trucks, local cooks, but everyone providing a little sample as well as selling their food. So it's an opportunity to come out, kind of the first and really the kickoff of the Main Street summer series of events. Next slide. This is a couple of pictures from the Grapevine. We're so excited that, and yes, I did make them bring me some dirt. It's like, I need some dirt, make it pretty. So thankful for all of you that were able to be there. Keep going. Shoe Trend, again, we did our ribbon cutting. This is on Jonesboro Road. Thankful to have them in our community. And again, so many of our community that showed up to support. Keep going. And then we also hosted for the very first time an economic development roundtable here in council chambers, specifically to our broker, developer, real estate community. It was truly designed to be a conversation more than anything else. It was a great listening and learning session of, in some ways, reinforcing that we're on the right track, we're doing the right things, but also kind of okay, well, I didn't think about it that way, and allowing us to pivot in some other ways. We are looking in the spring, it's closer to summer, of pulling this similar group together and doing a economic development mixer type of an event. So look for more information about that. Next slide. Our next Forest Park Business Association breakfast will be on April 22nd. We have Mr. Janelle Taylor, who is with the Small Business Administration, who is our featured speaker. I know February 22nd is passed, but if you watch Lifetime, so Murder in Music City was filmed here in Forest Park in our jail, largely in our jail. So if you're perusing and you don't have anything to look, or you've got the little thing on your TV where you can Google and look up stuff, go find Murder in Music City and watch it, because it was filmed right here in Forest Park. Next slide. Okay, so the Grapevine. So we had the logo that you have seen really isn't a logo. It was really a placeholder that was put on the building as the concept renderings were done. We're very kind of early in the design of coming up with some new concepts for a logo for the building. Not to sway you. However, as I've looked at it again and kind of let it sit for a minute, it looks too much like Total Wine. And if I was looking at this, I would think this is a wine shop. The grapes to me look like a wine shop. So I think the colors look good. I like the, yeah. But I want to hear, kind of give me your honest thoughts and feedback, and so we can take it back to our design team, because we need to tighten this up and come up with some additional concepts, and provide some additional feedback on the direction of this, because we also have a deadline by which we need to get this done, so that we are adherent to our signage and what needs to happen of hitting our sign timeline. Thoughts? Like the color, don't like the color?
I like the color, but you're right. As you said that, it does kind of make you think of like a wine shop, but what I have is like the leaf that's coming out of the grapes.
Mhm.
Leaf be the entire leaf for the forest park?
It's exactly what we just said. This is literally the conversation we had this afternoon. We did.
Oh.
Yeah.
So just use the leaf.
Just use the leaf.
Just the entire leaf of the city, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Like the,
Seal.
because the leaf on the grapevine is the leaf from the,
But use the whole.
but use the hump. I got you.
That's what I was.
Any other thoughts?
I like the one without with the one in the middle.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Until you pointed it out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I see it.
Okay, well, I'm telling on myself, but go ahead.
What did you say? The one without the box. So
The second one. The second one. Okay. Other thoughts, Mayor?
Yeah.
Nobody else thought that except for me.
You did?
Apparently.
About wine?
Okay, so you are my people.
I didn't think about one.
Okay, well, fine. You're not my people, but L is. L is.
You can't do something without the.
Maybe without the grapes. Maybe it's too. It is, but maybe it's a little too on the nose.
A name.
It was just a name. I mean,
Like I heard through the grapevine.
I'm gonna keep it all the way. The name just came. I don't think it was tied to the actual grapes so we wrote
It came from the concept of.
I heard it through the grapevine. Yeah.
it is.
Yes.
Either I learned.
Mhm.
Okay.
Not literally
Great.
grapevine, like wine.
Word on the curve.
Like word on the curve. Right.
Like exactly what you just did, like if there needed to be another logo, like maybe something where somebody is like
Mm.
ear,
Oh, okay.
then where somebody is like with like you see an outline of somebody, telling you about been to the grapevine.
Okay.
I need to be in my promotional video.
Right. Awesome. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. Next slide. All right. I think I've told you all about all of this. Keep going. And all of this. Oh, I do want to say one thing. Go back. So the congressional directed spending, I want to give a quick shout out. So we did, the city has made its submission to the FY27 congressional directed spending grant through the offices of Warnock and Ossoff. We have gotten early initial feedback that our narrative was exceptional. So absolutely exceptional. So yay! So we're gonna take that as a good thing, and we're all gonna keep our fingers and toes crossed. But super excited about that. But we will continue to keep you posted on that. And again, still working through in partnership with planning and community development, working through with the consultant on impact fees and what that looks like for our community. Next slide. These are again the development opportunity pages specifically for 330 Forest Parkway, which is the site that you own down the street. This is the site that the master development site that you worked with TSW over the past year, and then of course the park at Fort Gillum. The great thing with both of these, and again, hopefully we'll be able to talk through most of these at your retreat, is that we started to get lots of calls and interest from developers on both, particularly the park at Fort Gillum. So, which is a great thing, and had a meeting scheduled with a developer who took a site very similar to this in another municipality. I'm not going to say it yet, but in another municipality, and created magic with it. We had to cancel the meeting that we had scheduled earlier this week, and we are meeting next week. So we'll keep you posted on how those conversations start to shape up. And again, I've now got early conversation and interest around Forest Parkway site. Next slide. Yep, keep going. And keep going. And I have definitely talked about all of your projects here. Keep going. And for the DDA, again, I've talked about the digital realty, and I do want to talk about Main Street development real quick, particularly the College Street development. So we do have a pending contract still for a residential development on College Street that we're still waiting on them to sign the contract on. But we also have 2 other developers waiting in the wing. So they, can't hurry up and make up their mind that we might be able to move forward with somebody else. So, so again, we have lots of interest on this, particularly on that site on our College Street lot. And again, all for the same thing around housing and dense housing on Main Street. Keep going. And again, for the Development Authority, the 850 Main Street. So the redevelopment of that building that they own is the building right next to the Army Navy store. Still finalizing. Again, there's some punch list stuff that still needs to happen. I think we've kind of cleared most of what still needs to happen with the fire department to make them happy. I do know that we have a meeting with the health department coming soon of things that we have to do to button up to make them happy. Hopefully we'll be able to get this online soon. But reimagining kind of some things of how we do this building. One of the things that we're looking at is the vacant lot next door to 850 Main Street. It used to be a building. I forget what was on that site. It's been a raised lot for years, but looking at potentially a food truck park as a permanent installation of some sort. We've started doing some early initial research around what that looks like and how they do this in other municipalities and how we can start to maybe do something similar here. But also looking at in our downtown Main Street, because we've got a couple of buildings that are empty. And as we're looking at, well, what do we do with them in the meantime while we, kind of do some retrofit or some white boxing of them, doing a small business incubator, small business pop-up shop. And so looking at potentially the cafe space, that bottom space at 850, or even the old food mart that the DDA owns at the corner of Ash and Forest Parkway. That's Ash, right? Or College. Yeah. Right there on the corner, and looking at, that board doing some measure of investing to white box the space and then being able to use it as a permanent pop-up shop for our small business community, particularly for those businesses that aren't ready for a true brick and mortar, but need a space to start to scale their business and basically need a little bit of training wheels to get them to that point before they can go out on their own. So more about that to come. And that is it. Questions? I know I throw a lot at y'all every month. It's a lot. We do not.
On the West Street, which property is that? The one corner?
The blue building?
Or either there was something on West Street up there.
So West Street, the DDA.
Behind Papa John?
Yeah. So there's a blue building behind over here. I'm pointing over here.
Exactly.
It was a garage. It's been empty for a number of years. The DDA sold it a year and a half ago, and as a auto brokerage. Yeah. Questions for me?
Any questions?
No, I just wanted to, I want to acknowledge some students.
Yeah.
Work some college, some grown-ups. Those are his kids.
Hi. Hey, y'all. Awesome. Hey.
I saw them, and I was like, hey.
So if we don't have executive session, I mean, sure.
All right.
Thank you.
And